It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Idiots Podcast.
I want to say this. You found a way to maintain your entertainment level.
Because I didn't need that shit is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Because you developed the other skills.
I always had those.
You just didn't know that people would find them as entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah. But and
You know
that's
what I'm
also a
saying?
confidence thing. Sometimes you might feel like you have to
let's
rely
talk
on that
about
shit,
it.
right? So it's like, oh, if I don't say this wild shit, the people won't like me. And then all of a sudden you do these deep interviews and people are like, oh shit, he actually asks really thought-provoking questions. And like, this is a really interesting discussion. He seems curious.
Andrew hit me like my therapist, and I'm going to tell you why. I am at the point in my life where I'm really not trying to judge people for what they did based on survival.
Yes.
When they were in survival mode. You got to think, I have been fired 4 times from radio. I get this new opportunity on The Breakfast Club.
I'm not fucking it up.
I'm not fucking it up. First year, we didn't do so well in radio.
Numbers are rough.
I'm like, fuck it.
We going for it.
Let's go. You understand what I'm saying? And yes, it was a lot of insecurity in that. You know what I mean? It was a lot of, I don't have the confidence to necessarily be who I am, so to speak. Even though if you've watched me throughout my career for the past 23 years, a lot of the things that you're seeing now isn't new. Like I've always been, very pro-black. I've always done interviews with people like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Like I've always felt like, I knew I had this skill set when it came to interviewing. I was making noise doing interviews when I was on the radio in Philly. When I was in South Carolina, I literally got national attention from doing an interview with Buffy the Body at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like T-Pain was another interview that I got a lot of love for when I was in South Carolina. So those things have always been a skill set of mine. But when you in New York and you looking at everybody that cut through in New York, it usually is the shock jocks.
Yeah, Star.
Yeah, Howard Stern. The Miss Joneses of the world. Even Wendy Williams was up the shock jock for a minute. 100%. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, fuck that. I'm going balls to the motherfucking wall. But it got to a point just for me, not for nobody else. Just literally for me and what was going on in my household. Yeah. That I'm like, man, fuck that. I can't be a part of this shit no more.
When did you realize you could be equally entertaining without it?
Shit, December 2019.
With what?
Just getting to a place of worthy. You know what I'm saying? Because let's not act like when you make this transition, right? When you make this transition, whether it's, I don't know, I would say it was around 2013, 2014. I could be wrong though.
Yeah.
But when you start making that transition, right? And then you just start focusing on your craft, which is giving cultural critical commentary and great conversation. Yeah. Right? When you just start focusing on that, there is people that, man, fuck that. Yo, the old Charlamagne would have did this, and the old Charlamagne would have did that. And you're sitting there like, damn, am I not giving them off? Yeah, am I not giving them what they want? But what you gotta do is you just gotta step back and realize, and I didn't give myself this breathing space till December 2019. Like all the show has done is grown. The more that I've evolved, the more that I've sat down and did the work on myself, whether it's with my therapist, sacred purpose coach, whoever, when I started becoming a real man, like not cheating on my wife, being a father, like in a real way, like being present. When I started doing that, everything around me started to evolve. Everything. That's why I honestly, truly don't trip off none of the old shit. Because that is just for a reminder for me to stay on my path and a reminder for everybody else on how much I've grown. And on how much I've evolved. And I will continue to be that image of growth and evolution. And I think about everything that I liked when I grew up, right? Like when I grew up, that's why I gravitated towards the Nation of Islam the way I did. That's why I love the autobiography of Malcolm X, and that's why I love the book From Niggas to Gods by Akil, because they were all stories about growth and evolution. And that's always attracted me. Now I hope I can be that example for other folks. Because literally, man, this is so crazy. And I'll get off this after this. This week, I got a phone call from somebody and a real close friend of mine, and they wanted me to talk to this young guy who is getting a lot of buzz on the internet and getting a lot of buzz on social media. And he's like, I love Charlamagne. Like, and so we get on the phone and we're talking about, him potentially doing a podcast. And he's like, yo, man, I want to be like young Charlamagne. And like Howard Stern. And I'm just sitting there like, looking at the sky like, but God is really showing me what's up this week. So I'm like, what do you mean by that? He was like, just when you was, reckless, you know what I'm saying? And like, just getting drunk and talking about having sex with all these women and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, let me tell you something. Not only is that plane not getting off the ground in 2020, all right? Eventually, you're going to look back on your life 3-4 years from now, and you're going to say to yourself, none of that shit was worth it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, can I look back and say that?
Yeah.
It depends what I value. Financially, was it worth it? Yes. For who I know I am as a man, for the questions I'm going to have to answer to my daughters in the future, to the pain and stress I caused my wife, no. Absolutely not. But you wouldn't get this version of me now if you didn't get that version of me then. And so when I saw that young man saying that, you realize the influence you have on people. But what I did like is that he said, young Charlamagne. He's fully aware of everything I do now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Transition.
in his mind, I want to be like that now because that's what's going to get me hot.
Yeah, that's what he relates to, too. He's a kid.
He's a kid.
I don't know who this is, but I'm assuming he's
young.
younger.
Nah, he young.
But yeah, he's a kid. That's what's exciting to them. You don't want to talk about being faithful and mental health.
Oh, God. Let me pay some ads.
What?
No, you're right.
What young ass kid is like going on Instagram Live like, yo, I've been faithful.
No, these young boys are faithful, Schulz.
Who?
You were. You were faithful.
I'm an anomaly, bro. When are y'all gonna realize this shit? I'm an anomaly. I say all these foul things, but I live a pious life.
I don't even know what the fuck
you don't
that
be
means.
seeing his IG stories all hugged up with his girl.
Andrew been like that. Andrew
I'm a great guy. That's why I can talk all this crazy shit. Because my heart is good.
Now, Andrew been, he's
Black
been.
Queen.
That's right. No, he's been an example.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially when he had his black woman.